Hey, my name's Jason and welcome to Church Online, because here in our state where we live, it can snow and then be 70 degrees and then hail and then have a hurricane and then enjoy beach weather because welcome to Virginia. And so we have Church Online only today, and we are glad that you are joining us. And we want to make sure that you feel welcome. And so make sure to, after service, check out forefrontchurch.info, do a little digging around, see what we're about, because we are a church that is people helping people to find and follow Jesus. And so if you're wrecked, messed up, skeptical, doubtful, this is the place for you. We share all the time, this is a place to belong before you believe. And so while you're at home, enjoying the comforts of your bed or couch or in the kitchen, eating all of your feelings, we're glad you've joined us today. And so sit back, relax, and be ready for what God has in store for us during the next few moments that we're together.
Hey Forefront, we know that wherever you're probably watching this service from, it's probably cold. And so we wanted to play a song that would remind you of some warmer times. So unless the cold never bothered you anyway, we hope this next song is like a warm hug for you.
Wait, dude, what? Did you just quote Frozen?
I did. We have been watching way too many Disney movies over the last couple days.
We meaning the boys, right?
Right, totally,
not
yes.
Just you.
Not just me,
Like
just the
all
boys.
of you
Definitely,
guys.
yes.
The boys. Okay.
Just the boys, yeah. We should definitely move on.
Yeah, okay.
You ready? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, go. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. Hip, hip. When you're on a holiday, you can't find the words to say all the things that come to you, and I wanna feel it too. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. Hey, hey. Hey, hey. When you're on the golden sea, you don't need no memory, just a place to call your own as we drift into the zone. On an island in the sun, we'll be playing and having fun, and it makes me feel so fine I can't control my brain. We'll run away together, we'll spend some time forever, we'll never feel that anymore. Hip, hip. Hip, hip.
Good morning, Forefront. I'm Crystal, and I'm so glad that you're joining us online today. We'd love to connect with you. You can comment, DM, or text us at the number below. Everyone can head to our digital hub at forefrontchurch.info. Click the Connect tab and let us know how we can help you in your journey with God. Each week, we take time to practice generosity. Now, if you're new with us, please don't give. We want service to be a gift to you. Giving is for those of us who call Forefront home, and you can give digitally at the links below. Thank you for your generosity and helping people to find and follow Jesus. Above all else today, we want you to know that you are loved by God in this church. This is a place to belong before you believe. You matter, and we're excited to worship God together today.
Good morning, Forefront. It's so great to be with you, whether you are in person or online. And when we give up control to God, we know that we are not giving up to that control to a God who is on the sidelines, who is just hanging out watching. We have a God who is fighting for us, a God who is with us as we struggle, with us as we celebrate, and a God who is with us right now. And that's the God that we're going to sing about. So I'd love to invite you to stand and sing along with us. When all I see is the battle. When all I see is the battle, you see my victory. When all I see is the mountain, you see a mountain move. And as I walk through the shadow, your love surrounds me. There's nothing to fear now, for I am safe. So when I fight, I'll fight on my knees, with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. Every fear I lay at your feet, I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. And if you are for me, who can be against me? For Jesus, there's nothing impossible. When all I see are the ashes, you see the beauty. When all I see is a cross, God, you see the empty tomb. So when I fight, I'll fight on my knees, with my hands lifted high. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. And every fear I lay at your feet, I'll sing through the night. Oh God, the battle belongs to you. An almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadow, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. An almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. You shine in the shadow, you win every battle. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. An almighty fortress, you go before us. Nothing can stand against the power of our God. I think there's this confidence that we gain when we give our trust to God, that when we walk through life, no matter what we face, we know that there is nothing that can stand between us and God, and there is nothing that our God isn't bigger than. And we know that this God has already gone before us. He has won the victory. So we can sing this next song, I See a Victory, with confidence because our God has already won the victory. Let's sing this out together. The weapon may be formed. The weapon may be formed, but it won't prosper. When the darkness falls, it won't prevail. 'Cause the God I serve knows only how to triumph. And my God will never fail. Oh, my God will never fail. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. There's power in the mighty name of Jesus. Every war he wages, he will win. And I'm not backing down from any giant, 'cause I know how this story ends. Yes, I know how this story ends. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. You take what the enemy meant for evil and you turn it for good. You turn it for good. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord. I'm gonna see a victory. I'm gonna see a victory. For the battle belongs to you, Lord.
I'm so glad when we get to have a time of worship and singing together. And my hope is we're at home, that we're standing, that we're arms raised, that we're clapping, that we're enjoying that worship experience, even though we can't be together physically. And in the message that you're about to watch, we decided to go back into the vault, into the archives, and look at some of our most visited messages, the ones that had a big impact, the ones that people kept going back to and rewatching on YouTube and Facebook. And so we went back a little ways and found a message that we believe is so pertinent to what you and I deal with in the world we live in today. And so sit back and relax as we jump into today's message rewind.
Carrie and I, my wife, we have embraced a life of nonsense. It's true. Like, people think that we are crazy for some of the decisions that we've made. In hindsight, they now look like, man, that was the right choice. But it was never a choice that was easy, comfortable, or made sense at the time. Early on in our marriage, she was working as a nurse and I was a student ministry pastor. And with her income, we were making more than we ever had before. She comes home one day and says, hey, I love my job, but I also hate it. And I feel like God's calling me to go and be a teacher, but I'd have to quit my job and go back to school. And there in our dining room, it only took about 20 minutes where we go, awesome, you're gonna quit your job, we're gonna put the house up for sale, and we're gonna move into a much tinier place so that you can go back to school and be a teacher. And people thought we were crazy. Why would you do that? You guys are living at the beach, you're making a lot of money, you don't have any kids. And we knew what they didn't know, that when God lays this movement in your heart to do something, to be something, it may seem crazy and nonsensical to other people, but it's exactly what He wants you to do. Later on, when we were living in that same little place, we had just had a kid and her mom got sick, and we got word that she was gonna need some help. And Carrie came home, we were talking it out, and in about 30 minutes, we were like, all right, we're gonna get out of this place, we're gonna move in with them, and we're gonna take care of your mom and then eventually your dad, and have been there now for over 10 years. To be able to make sure that he was cared for even after her mom passed. And when people heard that we were moving in, at first like, oh, that's nice, but that sounds crazy. Why would you uproot your family and do something like that when you guys are doing your own thing? That just doesn't make sense. We go, exactly. The movement of God is never comfortable, never easy, and honestly doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But when you have that pull of God to go and do, to go and be, for us, we didn't have to sit and pray about it a ton. And when I hear people say, well, I really need to pray about that, I'm grateful that they embrace prayer, but there's a little part of me that has to chuckle. We never had to sit down and pray hard about what we knew God called us to do. We knew it was the right thing to do. Sometimes when we sit and pray about things, it's really to stall. It's hoping that God will change His mind about what He's already told us to do. And if you've sat in a life of comfort, I want to encourage you, and honestly, well, let's face it, it's not a whole lot of encouragement, it's really to challenge you, because comfort and being easy isn't the way of God. You see, if everything you do is comfortable, understandable, and easy, and you're just really able to process it, you're not following Jesus, you're following you. We love to be comfortable. That's why when I hear people say, I just can't tune into church online anymore, I can't do a digital small group, or I can go to group, but I'm not wearing a mask, or if you guys do church, when you do church in person again, I won't come if I have to wear a mask, and I'm just like, because your comfort level, we are called to do uncomfortable things for a miraculous God. And if everything you do is comfortable, understandable, and easy, there's a really good chance that you're not following Jesus, you're following you. But do you believe that Jesus can do the miraculous, that Jesus can do things that are beyond making sense? You see, the first person to realize this was His mom. Moms have a way of seeing things in us that we never really even knew was there ourselves. And while Mary was the mother of Jesus, she understood his miraculous power, his godship, his lordship. And I love this account. It's actually at a party is where we see this happen. It's over in John chapter 2 in the New Testament of the Bible. There's on the third day, a wedding took place at Cana in Galilee. Jesus' mother was there, and Jesus and his disciples had also been invited to the wedding. When the wine was gone, Jesus' mother said to him, "They have no more wine." "Woman, why do you involve me?" Jesus replied, "My hour is not yet come." Now, I want to note this. In the Greek, that term woman, because some of you are like, oh no, because I know growing up, if I ever, even today as a grown man, looked at my mom and replied to her, "Woman," I couldn't even end the word before a backhand, like down on the ground. That would not be tolerated. In this culture and in this instance, the way that he's saying that is not in like a derogatory way. And so for those of you guys who are like, pump the brakes on this, just, okay, we're all good, that he's not being disrespectful to his mom. Let's continue on. So what's her response? His mother said to the servants, didn't even address him, "Do whatever he tells you." In this moment, she believes that Jesus can do it, so much so that she has faith that he can do this miraculous movement, that she just says, "I know that he can do it." What kind of faith is that? What kind of faith do you have that when you know Jesus can do something, that you firmly believe that he's going to do it? She turned to the people and said, "Do whatever he tells you." Nearby stood 6 water jugs, the kind that were used by the Jews for ceremonial washing, each holding from 20 to 30 gallons. Jesus said to the servants, "Fill the jars with water," so they're filled to the brim. Then he told them, "Now draw some water out, take it to the master of the banquet," and they did so. And the master of the banquet tasted the water that had been turned into wine. He did not realize where it had come from. Nobody had told him, though the servants who had drawn the water knew. Then he called the bridegroom aside and said, "Everyone brings out the choice wine first, then the cheaper wine after the guests have had too much to drink, but you have saved the best till now." And so for all those arguments that say, oh no, that this story was grape juice or whatever, no, this is wine. Like, people understand what this is. And what Jesus did here in Cana of Galilee was the first of the signs through which revealed his glory, and his disciples believed in him. See, Jesus made the best wine. It was standard at a wedding. Bring out the best first, then people get a little, something, and then bring out the cheap wine. They won't know the difference at that point. No, Jesus doesn't make normal wine. He makes the best of the best. But the switch, the catalyst for that, was a mother who believed that the Son of God could do the miraculous. And I love this because it doesn't make sense. It doesn't seem normal. But when we trust Jesus, the one who can do the miraculous things and abnormal things and nonsensical things will happen, but we trust in him and we follow him, even if it feels crazy, even if it feels weird, even if it doesn't make sense. And one of the people that I looked up to the most growing up was actually a baseball player. Didn't play for the team that I rooted for, Rickey Henderson from the Oakland Athletics. Rickey Henderson set all kinds, broke record after record, stealing bases, and a little bit of ego, a little bit cocky, but he had the skills to back it up, just breaking records. And he didn't care about hitting home runs. He knew that if he got on base, he could steal base after base. And listen to what he shared in an interview. He says, "My uniform, if it doesn't get dirty, I didn't do anything in the baseball game. I always believed I was going to be safe. I just kept running. Even the slowest guy can go from first to third and help win a ball game." He believed it with every part of his might that if he could get on base, that he could go crazy. Even that he could steal base after base, jockey through the baseman and the pitcher, and know he could read. He was one of those guys that couldn't read a pitch, but he could read by the body language of the pitcher whether or not he would throw to first or second, or he was throwing across home plate to the batter. And time after time, he would steal bases and just blew people away. But he believed, and I love that last part, even the slowest guy can go from first to third and help win a ball game. And when we see this faith of Mary, when like in our lives, for Carrie and I, we've done things that didn't make sense, but we trusted Jesus because he does the miraculous, and we'll do things that are nonsensical to others, but it's exactly what he's called us to do because we're not supposed to be comfortable. We would say, man, I know that God can do something big in my life, but there's no way he's then going to use me, turn my life to then be a tool to help other people. That I'm too weak, I'm too lazy, I'm too messed up, my pastor bad, I just don't really feel like that's my quote unquote thing. And well, I can't go that route. And one of the things that I love is that our past and how we've performed doesn't cancel out our present purpose. The way that God has called us to move and called us to live. That you have not been canceled, that actually God has a plan to specifically use you for some amazing things to take place, to move in your life personally and then in other people's lives, to do things that don't make sense, to have the faith of Mary, to say, listen, I know that my God, my Lord, that this Jesus can do the miraculous, and we trust so much that we don't even accept no for an answer. We say, I know that this can happen in my life and in the lives of others. And if you don't hear anything else today, hear our big idea. Be the switch. That's right, it's pretty simple. Be the switch. And a switch, if you've walked into a room, a dark room, the first thing you do, flip on a light. You didn't manufacture the light switch. You didn't manufacture the light itself. You actually aren't at the power plant, or you're not the solar panel that's creating the electricity. You did, however, see that there was a dark room where you could fall or not be able to see what you needed. And so to light up the darkness, you flipped the switch. How are you at being the switch for other people? Now, you may not be a believer today. You're just tuning in. Somebody asked you to watch this. And I would encourage you that you can be the switch for other people, but you first have to have that light ignited in your own life. That you have to trust in Jesus. And there's nothing that you do that earns his love, that earns his grace, that is freely given. You just say, you know what? I believe that this Jesus that can do the miraculous, just like his mom believed, just like so many thousands and millions of people have believed over the course of time. I believe so much in his love, mercy, and grace that I want to follow him. That he can be a catalyst of change in my life, the switch that lights up my darkness, and I want to be that same type of person for other people. And there's a few things that happen when we claim and live out what it means to be the switch in people's lives. The first one is this, that we need to be ready to get in the dirt and be hurt. That's right. That if we're going to be a switch in people's lives, we actually have to get in the game. That's why, like, when I hear people say, like, I can't go to that bar, like, that's where those people hang out and just go, unless you're struggling with alcoholism and you don't need to be in that environment, why wouldn't you go where broken people are? Why wouldn't you go to places where you know people are hurting? Oh, I can't go to a homeless shelter. Those things freak me out. Why? Because it's people that don't look like you, talk like you, act like you, because their circumstances are different from you. Why not go to places and be with people and serve in ways and get in the dirt with people? It doesn't mean being a gossip or a busybody. Don't share the dirt, but that we would walk alongside people and say, I will be here with you. But prepare to get hurt. People will lie to you. People will hurt you. They'll backstab you. They will leave you. They will say hurtful things to you. If you're going to be a switch in people's lives, be ready to get in the dirt and be hurt. Later on in John, listen to what it shares. I have said these things to you, that in me you may have peace. In this world, you will have tribulation. You will have hurt. You'll have pain. You'll have sorrow. You'll have grief. You'll have backstabbing. But take heart. I have overcome the world. Jesus has already handled it. All things are being made new, but you're going to have hurt. That whole adage, God won't give you more than you can handle, throw that out the window. God promises over and over not only through the context of the Bible, but also we've watched it. God gives you plenty more than you can handle because it draws us back to Him. And the reality is, if you're going to be a switch, if you're going to be a follower of Jesus and be the switch in people's lives, be ready to get in the dirt and to be hurt. People will hurt you. People will leave you. Be ready to get in the dirt and be hurt. But you'll do it because you believe Jesus can change people. That's right. Jesus can change people. And while the times we're living in seem divided and hard, I still have hope that people can change. I believe the best about every man, woman, and child. I believe the best of Donald Trump. I believe the best about Joe Biden. I believe it about Mike Pence, Kamala Harris. I believe it about all the members of the Senate and Congress. And man, believe it about our mayor, believe it about law enforcement, believe it about white people, I believe it about people of color. You believe the best about people, and you believe that God can change people through the power of Jesus. And I think somewhere we lose a bit of humanity when, we lose a bit of humanity when we start looking at people and calling them evil and thinking of them differently. I've seen some people say and post some things about opposing viewpoints and opposing people that breaks my heart because it strips away the humanity from people. And I believe the mission of the church gets wounded. And to be a switch in people's lives, the moment that we start to name call and act hurtful towards others because they don't agree with us is the day that we have relinquished our influence to be a switch in other people's lives. We have said, I care more about my opinions and my allegiances politically than I do about the lordship and allegiance to Jesus. And if we're going to get in the dirt and possibly get hurt by people, we're going to do it because we believe Jesus can change people, and that starts with us. And when we believe that Jesus can change us, it softens our hearts. It doesn't make us weak. A soft and tender heart is actually one of the strongest things that you can walk into the world with. And my prayer for you and I is that we would see that that change can happen. Listen to this. Whoever hears my word and believes in him who sent me has eternal life. Do you believe in him? Do you believe in the message of Jesus to bring love, hope, and forgiveness and redemption to every person? Second chances. Second chances abound in Jesus. And third chances and 85th chances. But if you're going to be a switch, we have to be able to say, all right, these things need to change in my life so that I can be a change for other people. And God, change my heart, which leads us to our kind of third action step. We need to be ready to get in the dirt and be hurt. We need to believe that Jesus can change people. And we need to become who Jesus calls us to be. I believe that the best days of the church for people in our country, in our city, that our best days have yet to be lived. That we have an opportunity now to see how we love. The church has had since March, so roughly 6 months, to say, is church an hour that I practice? Or is church something I go to? Or is church something that I've become and I'm loving my neighbor? I'm not lashing out on social media. I'm sitting down and having a meal with a friend. I'm having a meal with an enemy. I wrote a letter and told somebody I love them, even though I know they don't love me and they don't want to be my friend. I forgave a person that wounded me. what is it for you? Because I have to believe that if Jesus can be a miraculous catalyst for change, and it seems nonsensical, it's stuff that we don't deserve, that if he can be that for us, that we have to be able to be that for other people. And so I ask you, I prayerfully hope for you that you'll be the switch, that you'll be the catalyst of change for other people, but that starts with Jesus being a catalyst in your life, that he lights up your darkness. And maybe for you, that's taking a next step in reaching out and saying, hey, I need somebody to pray for me. For many of you, that's taking the next step and saying, I'm going to be baptized and I'm going to draw a line in the sand and say, Jesus is the one that I serve, not a political party, not my hobbies and my interests, not my comfort level, but God, you. I'm going to follow Jesus with every part of who I am. Maybe for you, that next step means that you need to call somebody after service and be the switch of forgiveness by saying, I'm sorry, or I forgive you, or hey, I want to be friends again. You see, Jesus can cause us to do some things that are pretty ridiculous. They seem like nonsense. But when we trust in him in the ways that don't make sense and don't feel comfortable, it's exactly where he wants us to be. So, will you be the switch?
Well, hey, I want to say thanks for joining us today and being a part. When you are stuck inside and our city shuts down, it rains too hard or there's like a fraction of snow on the ground, and everybody freaks out. You decided being at home to engage with what's happening here. Maybe a friend shared this with you on their timeline there, and you just saw it on the news feed and you're like, man, I want to check that out and see what that's about. we are grateful for you, and we want to be able to help you in the questions you have in your journey with God. And so make sure to DM our page. You can leave a comment and a staff member will get with you here shortly, or you can always head over to, it's like our digital hub. It's forefrontchurch.info. There's a lot of things you can do there, but one's that connect tab. Click that, fill it out. Let us know how we can help you in your journey with God. If you need an email back or you'd like a phone call back, make sure you note that on there, because we are here to help one another to find and follow Jesus. And so we are glad that you joined us today. Thank you guys so much. Stay safe out there, and we cannot wait till weather is better here in Virginia that we could be together in person again. And so we love you. Have an amazing week, and we'll see you next time.